And now, North Valley Golden Bear was his nickname in the elderly gay community. Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get on. No choice to get on. Mandate, get it on. Donnell Rawlings in studio's got a special out on Netflix that I got to watch. It's called A New Day, and his good buddy Chapelle. Directed, produced, I'm trying to think. Advised?
Directed, produced, yelled at, screamed on, and shitted on.
Yeah.
By Dave Chappelle.
Yeah. It's tough when you have those friends that are funny, but they're earnest and honest, too.
Yeah, that's true, but in my favor for this special, it worked out. I'm sorry, I just feel like I wanted to say something. I was very offended, Adam, when I first walked in his set, because you knew that there was going to be an African-American, a.k.a. black guy on this show, and you fitted me with these headphones that don't represent the streets or the culture. And to you said, what do you want? I said, I want some gangster-ass headphones, and you don't have any gangster headphones here. I came here to represent and be gangster. Even though, wait a minute, let me go back. Glasses.
You're wearing a white...
Don't I look intelligent now?
You do. I don't feel like the white turtleneck conveys
disrespectful.
gangster.
That's disrespectful.
Yeah.
I did the turtleneck for you. I did it. I had a hoodie. I had a gangster-ass hoodie.
I have a do-rag in the car. I can run out and get it.
And it's not going to do me any good, but I you know what? I owe you an apology starting off because I didn't want to respect your gangster. And after you brought that to my attention, I knew that it's here, and you represent.
Thank you. So
and I'm going to keep doing this to make it look like I'm intelligent.
You're going to write stuff down?
Yeah, for no reason.
Notes.
Just scribble scrab. I'm playing hangman right now.
I did that in class a lot.
Yeah?
Tried to look busy when someone was talking, but I was just making stick figures.
I would just look over people's shoulders and cheated. I cheated.
I cheated too.
Yes, and that's why we're comedians.
Did you ever cheat? Like, I remember one instance of me cheating in Spanish class where I had Cynthia Nagatani in front of me who was always got 100% on her test.
Yeah.
And I just went box for box looking over her shoulder and I got a D-, and I was outraged because I wanted to yell at the teacher. I did the exact same test Cynthia Nagatani did because I was cheating on her, but I couldn't
blow
say
yourself up.
anything. Yeah,
Right.
I couldn't blow myself up.
Yeah,
I was
that's
the
what-
Asian guy that people copied off of. And I remember
Oh.
my buddy Arthur, he went up to go get the test back, and when he gets there, goes to the front, grabs it, and yells at me in the back class, "Hey, Chris, we got an A."
Oh, we got an A.
For some reason, I feel insecure about my turtleneck right now. I'm
That's
sorry.
all right.
You shouldn't have
looks
brought that to. I want to pull it down. I'm sorry. Does this make everybody feel better?
We got an ascot in the closet somewhere if you want me to go fetch it.
No, I'm
Cover
good.
that up.
I'm good.
So you were a bad student?
Yeah, I was a bad. No, it's interesting. I was what I needed at that time, student. Like if I had got an F on something, I knew I had to get an A to average out to a C, but I never was consistent with either one. It was like up and down, up and down. Even to the point when I was graduating, I knew I was on the border. I knew I was right on the cusp of not passing it. And this is how being funny gets you through things. I went to my teacher. I was like, I'm shaking. I'm like this, so am I going to graduate? She was like, I said, how did I do on my final? She said, you probably got an F. She said, but I passed you. I think you're a funny guy. And that's
really?
the reason why. Yep.
Were you class clown?
I was class, I don't know if I should be offended by that word of clown. Can we come
It's
up
a
with
title.
another word? Class performer?
Class performer?
No,
Yeah,
I was
artist.
a class clown. I was a class thespian is not the right word. I gotta agree with you. Yes, I was a class
Did they
clown.
have all the designations when you were in high school? Best dressed or flirtiest?
Funny guy. Yeah, we had all of that.
And you got that?
No, I didn't get anything. I didn't get any of that. I just got in trouble. You know, since we're talking about high school, I got an interesting story. You know Derek Deidre Bader?
Yeah,
Bader,
Bader.
Bader.
Yeah.
We went to the same high school.
From
Alexandria,
Carey
Virginia.
show?
No, I know, but
Drew
his
Carey.
sitcom
Office Space.
was
Drew Carey
Office
show.
Space and Drew Carey show. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
know.
it's a very funny story. We were in the same class. We graduated from T.C. Williams High School in 1985. Yes, I'm an old motherfucker, right? And he was part of the theater group, and he ran for class president, right? And black people was not messing with him because our school was divided. You know, at the beginning, it was like the black cool dudes hung over here, the white cool dudes hung over here. But he brought this school together. He ran for class president, right? And he had a speech, and everything he said, that all the black people agreed with. He was like, if I'm elected to be president, I think we should have like gym, like 5 periods in a row. You know, all of these things that
chicken in every pot and Beats
now that's
headphones in
disrespectful,
every
man.
studio.
Was the chicken fried or grilled? That's the most
It's a
important part.
famous speech. 2 cars
Don't
in
answer
every
that.
garage and a chicken in
I think
every
I might
pot.
be a little too sensitive right now. Okay, let me calm down, right? But we voted for him. We got him in the office, and then 2 weeks after that, he quit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he disrespected the black vote.
What was the percentage? How did the school break down ethnically?
It was probably 30% black, probably 40% white, and 30% people from other countries.
Yeah, we didn't.
Salvador was big back then.
I'm from North Hollywood. We had sort of a little bit of everything, but black at our school was bussed in.
Yeah, that's what, you know what? That's how it was at our school.
Oh, it was.
And we didn't understand that. It's interesting you say that T.C. Williams High School was the only high school in Alexandria, Virginia. But we didn't understand how you could live on this street and literally be 2 streets away and not go to the same school. Mm-hmm. But they bust to segregate, to bring everybody together.
Yeah, we had that. Everyone got along in my high school.
We got along.
T.C.
Oh, that's
Williams
good.
is also the Remember the Titans school.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh.
And whenever I tell somebody I was with the T.C. Williams, they was like, was I of that era? And I think that was like in 1970 and 1975. I'm like, I'm old, but I'm not old enough to start that movie.
So you go into the Air Force after high school, right?
Yes.
And why?
Not like white folks, and I'll be honest. White folks and black folks go in the military for different reasons. White folks go in to be patriotic. Mm-hmm. Black folks go into the military for benefits. Mm-hmm. You ask a white guy why you join the military, it's like, to protect this great country.
Yeah.
USA!
Yeah.
Black people's like, they promised I'd be a colonel in 3 weeks. I was gonna get a credit card and I get the tour of the world. That's what it was for me. And for me, I'm not making fun of it, for me, for a lot of black people, it's an option to going to college. It's an option if you haven't had your stuff together. Mm-hmm. And at that point, I didn't really know what I was gonna do with my life. I wasn't like trained with anything. I wasn't excited about college, so military was the next best thing. And even my counselors knew that. I have a younger brother. He went to Brown University, Georgetown Law, right?
Wow.
And he was highly recruited with the counselors. They was like, yeah, you can go to Yale, you can go to Harvard. Mm-hmm. And they said, look at these schools, these Ivy League schools you go to. But when they brought me in the office, they just pointed to all the military posts.
Yeah.
And they were like, you want to aim high or get up before 6 o'clock? That was the options that I had.
When did the comedy come in?
It came in after the military. I was a police officer in the United States Air Force. So in the military, for the most part, whatever you had got trained on in the military, that's what you pursued when you got out. So that time I was waiting to be a DC police officer. I had applied for it. I think I got to the part where we had to do the psychological exam. In the interim, I was head of security for a grocery store. It was called Safeway.
Yeah, we have them out here.
Yeah, I didn't know that. But I wasn't just a security guy. I ran 5 stores. I was a general. Mm-hmm. Right. And the reason why I was a general because when I went to get my uniform, I told them to give me 3 stars. That was it. I didn't have to build up for it. I just told them I'm a general. So there was a guy at one of the stores. He worked for a Hostess cupcake company. Mm-hmm. In the daytime, that was his job. At nighttime, he was a comic. So he would go around, and he used to bark for the club. He would go around and give out free tickets to the comedy club. And he gave it to a group of friends that I know, and we just would go there just because it was free tickets, and we loved comedy. And then I was there. I became a heckler. They wanted me to shut up. I was such a cocky heckler. People started coming to the show to watch me heckle.
Oh, interesting.
And I was so arrogant. I went to the club owner, and I said, we need to work on a door deal. Never performed or anything. I was like, I've increased your business by 30%. I need to get cut into this.
The comics wanted this too?
No, comics hated me.
Yeah.
Because I was such a good heckler that they would come up to me like, listen, I'm working on some new stuff, don't mess with me. I'm like, it's your job to tell the jokes and my job to try to ruin the jokes. And just as a dare, most comedy clubs, they know it's always an asshole in there, right? And they think the way you can quiet them up is put them on stage and that'll teach them. But I went on stage and I hit a home run and I never looked back.
I know I was watching TMZ the other day, and I know there's a little heckling situation that took place at the Laugh Factory.
But the irony of that whole situation, people are like, why would you yell out at the comedian? I was like, this is full circle. This is how I started my career, as a heckler. So now, when I thought about that, I didn't really feel too bad about it. But at the same time, I think it was a situation that was inevitable that somebody was going to step to this person and have that conversation with them.
Well, I just saw a brief clip of it on TMZ, and I know you guys sort of iron things out, I suppose.
We haven't ironed things out.
Oh, well, there was an attempt maybe to iron things out, but I didn't know what the context was.
Well, the context was there's a I don't want to say popular, but there's a podcaster by the name of Corey Holcomb. I hate giving him this shine, but it is what it is. And I think he's built his platform off of hating and just being negative and just talking shit about anybody that has had a moderate amount of success. I honestly believe if it wasn't for famous, popular people, he probably wouldn't have a career in podcasting because he wouldn't have anybody to shit on, right? So for some time, and me and Dave Chapelle, if you don't know, it's one of my closest friends. We work together. We did some incredible things together. I get defensive when people try to attack his character because I've considered him to be a brother. So some time ago, he was like, Dave Chappelle be bombing. He be going to these shows and he be bombing, right? And I'm like, what is the purpose of saying that? And if you know comedy, it's called working out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to go through a certain stage to get to the point where those jokes are right, and that's what trial and error. And for the most part, anytime Dave Chappelle goes to any of these clubs, a club that don't have their phone locked up or whatever, a club that's kind of like rowdy, he's not going there to be like, I'm going to create this great bit. He's going there to say, listen, I'm human, I'm touchable, you can come see me, I want to say hi to you guys, right? So I think it's unfair to try to be critical of that person as a stand-up when they're in that environment. So he goes on this platform, he's like, he be bombing. I say what motherfuckers afraid to say. Motherfucker be bombing, and all this type of shit. So that's in the back of my mind. He shits on a lot of people. And then he has this thing, and a lot of comics that I'm around or in my circle, they seem to think that the only way that you succeed or make it in Hollywood is that you have to bend over backwards. You have to compromise your integrity. And basically what he said is, this is his words. Anybody that's been in 3 movies has sucked a dick. So I'm in the audience, I'm watching them, right?
Probably true for a lot of the actresses.
Don't support this. I mean, but that's what I said. That's reserved from back in the day. And some people aren't mad at that. There's women that take offense to that, and there's women like, that's how you get in the movie. Fuck going to acting school.
Yeah.
Suck your way to the top.
Well, go ahead, keep going.
So he says, and I'm looking, I'm like, damn, I've been, but I did, I will have to say that I was, very sensitive, and I was kind of ready to be triggered. I was just like, as soon as you say the word, he was like, you got to suck 3 dicks to be in a movie. I was like, wait a minute. I've been in 3 movies, and I've stayed dick-free. This is what I told him. Right? I said, I've been in 3, and I've stayed dick-free, right? And then he looked, he was like, who is that? I was like, it's Donnell. And I knew he knew that the minute he knew it was me, he was like, oh, comedians are mad at me because I keep the truth. I tell the truth. I said, Corey, you do speak the truth, but you say a lot of sideways shit. Definition, you say some shit that really is bullshit. Then he went right into he started talking about the Dave shit, right? Well, Dave Chappelle, he be bombing. And it was cool as that. I wasn't really so much defending Dave. Then he went on to say, Donnell, if you were at Club Savoy, this is like a very black club, right? He was like, you wouldn't survive. I got very upset about that. Savoy, yeah. I got very upset about that because I know my history. I know I didn't start by working at the Comedy Store. I didn't start by working at the Laugh Factory or Gotham Comedy. I started in the Chitlin circuit. At that time, that was the only thing available to me. So as they say in the streets, I've been through the mud. I've paid my dues. And if you're black, you got to represent your street stuff. Not enough for me to go buy a pair of Timberlands and start a fight, but I had to let you know, this is my history, right? And then you're trying to pick this narrative of that I'm not funny. And he was like, he said, you are a mild comic. You're ketchup, you're not hot sauce, right? I was like, there's nothing mad about me. He said, you're an average comic. I was like, motherfucker, this one is really, I got into it. I was like, motherfucker. I told him about the clubs I work. I said, motherfucker, I'm a beast. I said, you find somebody that's going to say I'm a mild or average fucking comic. He said, you average, isn't he, y'all? To the crowd. And they was like,
were you there?
They didn't support it.
To perform?
Yeah, I had just performed.
Oh, you just performed.
He said he thought you left.
No, the motherfucker didn't think I left.
Yeah.
And the thing about it was, he watched my set. The thing was, we had 3 shows that night, and I was closing all the shows. I didn't even want to come in. I was tired. I was closing all the shows. So I don't go mingle with a lot of comics. I don't look at the list. They know where I am. I'm going to go on stage. So when I did my show, I did run the light about 10 minutes because I'm got a special coming out, so I'm working on new shit. I'm not getting a lot of opportunities to perform, right? So when I got off stage, I assumed that the show was over. Like,
right.
I'm walking out the door. I'm like, all right, did they say we got one more? I'm like, who's going on? Not like, oh, I'm supposed to be the closer. I thought it was over, right?
Running the light for people listening.
Yeah.
Is they light you with 2 minutes left if you say I'm going to do 15 minutes or 20 minutes.
Yeah, but the thing about it was, then it was interesting because I'm like, they knew it was a tough spot to come in that late. So you don't, even if a comic's supposed to do a late show, that show started like at 12:20. Even if a comic is supposed to do only 10 minutes, right? You would give them the benefit of the doubt that it's late. And if he's banging, ain't nobody tripping, people still tipping, like, all right, do some stuff. And then me, I have a level of respect. I don't disrespect, like, I'm the last person, like, I'm like, why y'all know I didn't want to be here, so I'm here now, but let me rock.
Yeah.
It was not like to burn the next comic because I didn't think it was another fucking comic.
Right.
Right, so I was like, and I thought it was crazy because some people went up before. They wasn't. Whenever I go on stage, I go hard. It doesn't matter if it's 10 or 15 people. So I'm giving them sold out energy. I'm like, why did you give me a light? Didn't dawn on me that it was another comic. So I'm about to leave out, and they said, got another comic coming on from 5150. That's his podcast, right? And Corey Holcomb. And I told my friends, like, let me just want to sit down, and that's where it started. Now I will say. The one thing that I was guilty of, there's a unwritten rule that you're not supposed to heckle another comedian, right? But I wasn't heckling him. I just wanted to understand it. And when it first started off like, I've been in 3 movies. I don't suck dick, right? And then it escalated. And then, as they say, I got into my feelings. I yelled out or whatever. And somebody said, do you regret anything? I said, I regret how I handled myself in that moment, but I don't regret what is become the backlash of it, and it's exposing a person as being very negative. And I go hard. I will I would troll you. I will meme you. I will do everything. And then when we first had that, I was ready to go to war. I was like, man, fuck that. Who the fuck you think he is? I am a beast. And I wanted to attack and be negative. And then as I started seeing the blogs coming, I was like, you know what? I don't even have to fight this fight.
Yeah.
The fans will.
And so how's Chapelle when it comes to this? Because I have some parallels with you because I'm friends with Jimmy Kimmel, and people talk a lot of shit about him.
Right.
And they include me.
Right.
You know, and there's part of me that thinks I should tell these people to fuck off. Then there's another part of me that says, well, why am I dancing with these people? And I've never had an actual conversation with Jimmy about it, but I think he would prefer that I don't engage with these people. And I don't know if you've ever talked to Chappelle. Does Chappelle go, thank you for getting my 6? Or does he go, shut the fuck up, I don't need this?
I think it's a combination of both. I think for our friendship, and he know what could be the backlash of it, he would probably prefer I not do it, but I think he gets excited when I do it. You know what I'm saying? Like when I do, it's like, come on, D, you don't got to do that. But yes, and I'm not like what people don't understand what loyalty is and like a friendship is, and it's hard for you to take somebody talking shit about somebody that was such a part of your life. You guys made history together. You know what I'm saying? And your my understanding, your friendship is just not working together. It's like a real friendship.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's how it is. The same thing with me. With Dave, he would probably say, don't do it. He knows I'm ready to go. Don't do it, D. It's not worth it. But we had this conversation a couple weeks ago. He was like, why do these motherfuckers come for me? Right? Because he doesn't understand it. Dave don't fuck with nobody. He's an easygoing guy. He was like, why do these people come for me? I was like, Dave, you got to understand, with some people, your success just mirrors their failures and what they're not doing or willing to put the work in to do. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I can't be happy for you because first, especially if you think you're supposed to have that spot.
Well, they also have this weird impression, and we do it with money in this country. Like there's a certain amount of money, and if some people take all the money, then there's no money for the other people, except for the other people can work and make their own money. And
Right.
there's a certain amount of success, and Dave Chappelle's taken it all, and now I can't have any.
But that's just a cop-out.
Of course it's
That's
a cop-out.
because no matter what anybody says, they talk about America. America's the shit and everything. But if you really go to a third world country, America is really the land of opportunity.
Yeah.
And there's so many examples of if you work hard enough, you can get it.
Yeah.
But people don't want to work that hard. And it's so easy for people to make an excuse. I
course.
can't do that because of that. And then and the crazy thing, going back to the Corey Holcomb thing, is that it's interesting. I've had so many comedians call me and say thank you. Like somebody had to do it. I don't even want to engage in them. I got too much, and especially like this week, somebody said, we need to straighten out with you and Corey. I was like, dude, you got two situations. I'm here to promote my special that's about to be that's about to premiere in 150 countries. Corey Hogan is trying to get 150 subscribers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's apples and oranges, and I can't put my energy there.
So Chapelle, you guys meet how? And
We met through this DC, the comedy circuit in DC. Dave Chappelle, I'm older than Dave Chappelle, but he's older in comedy world.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? He probably got 5 years on me, and I'm 5 years older than him. But when you in DC, we just always was curious about who made it out, who's going to the next level. So I would ask the question. I would ask, who's popping, who made it out of here? Because I wanted to know not so much a competition, like what I had to look forward to, how they did it. And they would always in DC, they would always be like, "Man, Dave Chappelle, that motherfucker's hot," and I would be like, "Fuck is Dave Chappelle? Like, what makes him hot?" He was like, "He's young." I'm like, "Oh, I can't do anything about that."
Right.
Right. They're like, "He's young."
what year is this?
This had to be probably like 95 or maybe 94. They're like, he's young, his comedy is smart, he's animated, he can act, he's in Robin Hood Men in Tights and shit. And I was like, man, fuck that motherfucker. Not in a bad way, but like at this time, I got it popping in DC. And the funny thing was, when Dave had it popping, when he would come home like from New York to DC, we all go back to our old comedy club. And he would ask the owner, like, who's popping now? And it would always be the same people, the guys that been around for a while. But he said that everybody would be like, but there's this one kid named Donnell Rawlings that's the shit. And Dave's similar to my personality. He'd be like, man, fuck him. Right? And it was like, well, what makes Donnell him? He's like, he's just hungry. He's wild. He's raw. He's just got energy. He's already started establishing characters and stuff. So we knew of each other's reputation. And then when I moved to New York from DC, I would bump into him. And the DC comics, like, we always felt like the first step of you actually making it is you got to leave home. You got to go. Because back then, you couldn't make it. Like now, you could sit in front of your computer and make yourself an international star. But back then, you had to be, if you weren't in New York or LA, nobody knew you. There was no way around it. It wasn't that local guy. You had to go one of those places. So it was like a mutual respect for each other. We used to cross each other's paths in the village at the clubs and stuff like that. And then we respected each other. Like, oh, that's the dude from DC. I heard about you. And that's it.
So then when it came time to do the Chapelle show,
Yeah.
it made sense.
That wasn't, what people don't understand, they just assume because both of us from DC that he threw me the bone. But the reality of that is that Neil Brennan, Neil Brennan and Dave, they were really, really close. I saw Neil Brennan was working at PA for In Living. I don't know if this is the exact story, but He had a low-level job, and this is no disrespect, like camera operator or something, had me on tape. He thought I was funny, right? And that at the time, Neil had sold like 3 scripts to Hollywood, right? He was getting paid, but none of his movies were getting the green light. So he started to get frustrated where he thought he might have to make a pivot and become a director or whatever. So he reached out to my management and he was like, yo, I got this short film that I did. You know what I mean? I've never done it before. I want to shoot it and I want to edit it. You think that he was a fan of mine. He's like, you think that Donnell would be interested in being in this? And when that happened, I had stuff popping from my background at Def Comedy Jam and BET. I think at that time I was doing HBO's The Corner or I had stuff popping before the even Chappelle show. And I said, well, you know, Neil, I know you can't afford to pay me. I said, but I'm going to throw you a bone. Like, but if you're ever in a situation where you could throw me a bone, whatever. And this never happens. I just threw it out there just to say, because I'm not getting paid, just think about me. And he was like, oh, okay. I didn't know that he was already paid, right? So I'm talking to it's a film student at NYU. I'm like, I know it. Good luck with your career, little kid, all right? Right? Never thought anything. He said, okay. Maybe like a month after he did that project, he called me and said, I'm working on this project. I'm considering you for it. I was like, I know. I mean, just whatever. And he was like, okay. And then like talked to him again. And he was like, well, I got this show. I was like, what's the name of the show? He said, well, I said, what's the name of the show? He said, well, we don't know the name. I'm like, get a name for the show, right? Mm-hmm. The show that he was considering me for, it was untitled at the time. It was the Chapelle show. Mm-hmm. So this is not like a lot of people. And me and Neil have had our differences over the past, but not too often in this business where people say they're going to do something and they actually do it.
Right.
And when he did that, Dave knew me from stand-up. Dave didn't know me as an actor or anything. Neil knew that from what I did for his short. And I think he followed my career closer than Dave. And that was my introduction to the show. It wasn't without Dave's consent. You know, you can't just say, this guy's going to be in the show. So Neil was like, yo, I like Dave. I like this guy. And Dave was like, oh, yeah, that's the guy, you know, that from D.C. And that's where my relationship and connection with the Chappelle show came from.
If we're talking about the Chappelle show, can we talk about season 3 when Dave disappeared and we as a public just knew like, okay, the show got pushed back. Nobody knows where he is. What did you know, or did you know anything? Because I know then you had to like host the Lost episodes, you and Charlie Murphy.
That's very interesting question and the timing of it, because I've been knowing Dave for years. It was like about 3 months ago. He never said anything directly to me about it. And I don't know if because we had some tequila in us or whatever, but he let me know that he wasn't happy about the decision to do that temporary show, right? He was like, yeah, I did the show. And I was like, you know what, Dave? I said, that was a tough decision to do. I said, and when we did that, we never gave the network the impression that we're the next best thing. We never gave an impression that we want to take over. We never did. From the day he left, we never wrote on any other sketches. We never did anything. But Comedy Central had an archive of material that they had to do something with it. And then when Neil brought it to us, when Neil brought it to us, we made it clear that we're not celebrating this. We made it clear it's not passing on the torch. We made it clear that it's uncomfortable. That at the same time, we hadn't talked to Dave. Nobody knew what his thoughts were and everything. And then we like younger guys, I'll keep it real, still looking for some continued opportunities. We knew how valuable it was to be a part of that show. And it was the hardest thing for us to do was like, how are we going to explain walking through that curtain and it's not Dave Chappelle?
But he was disappointed that you guys carried on.
Later on. I figured that out, right? And even when we did it, when we came out there, Charlie said, you know, I'm not really happy to do this. I don't want to be here. And me, always the guy that throws a comment, I was like, motherfucker, speak for yourself. I need all the camera time I can get. And I started going through the cameras or whatever, right? But it wasn't like, next week you could see us. And when he told me that, I felt bad about it in that moment. But when it's going down, because he hadn't talked to us, the whole thing was a mystery. He hadn't talked to us. He hadn't said, I left this show because of this. I decided to do that. And when he told me like how he didn't make him feel good, I said, Dave, you do understand. If you would have called us and said, I'm not fucking with Comedy Central, right? Because we didn't know if he was going to come back. We didn't know what the behind. We didn't know it was like this. All right, it was something going on. All right, now guys, because our thought was at some point he's going to come back, and we keep going. We didn't know that. We was in limbo. I said, if you would have called and said, I don't fuck with, I'm not fucking with them, it would have been no question. Well, if you're not fucking with them, we're not fucking with them. But it was a misunderstanding there, and a couple of I even told him, I said, I apologize for that, and I'm being very transparent. I'm sorry that he felt that way.
Yeah. Well, I think what people do, I know women do it. They don't tell you what they want. They want you to know
right.
what they want and then to do the right thing.
Right.
And even once in a while they go
so
a step further.
So you call Dave a woman?
They go, I don't want anything for Valentine's Day. And
right.
you go, you don't?
You don't.
You don't.
Right.
I do not. You don't. Hold on, let me get my camera out and film
right.
this. Let me get a stenographer over here so we can
That's
get this.
So
make it part of it.
so
you
true.
do not. So even when they tell you they don't, they want something else. So
yeah.
I think people go, I just wish that you would have, and I was disappointed, but they don't go, but you didn't pick up the phone.
But we were, and I understand that, but we were so high on the success of the show.
Of course, man.
Even to the point we wasn't making a lot of money on that show. You know, we weren't. But I knew being in one sketch where somebody can identify with, I'm gonna get my money on the road.
Yeah.
To be honest, I would have did that show for no money, for the exposure and the platform it created for people to see what I do. People always ask me, if it wasn't for Dave Chappelle and this, I was like, listen, man, I gave that show everything I had. When we did that show, nobody signed a contract. You are a cast member where we're forced to write anything for you. It was every sketch, every man for himself. Every sketch I never knew if I was gonna be back next week. But I knew if I kick ass and I get in the writer's head, then they're gonna start writing more stuff for me, but nothing was guaranteed. You were only as good as your last sketch. And that's why I think that resonated with everything and every character I did. You could tell it was somebody that was hungry that was trying to pop, and I put my foot into it.
Yeah, it's weird. I've had the exact same almost parallel with the Man Show because Jimmy got the call to host a late night show on a network TV station after 4 seasons, and he's going to leave.
Right.
And the show was very successful.
I know, I remember. I loved that show.
So
I was like, them white boys out of control. That's what I said, not in a racist way. I'm telling you, the streets fucked with y'all, man. I don't know if that means anything to you, but yeah.
So they came to me and they said, well, you're not going to late night, so do the show.
Right.
Do season 5. And I was like, but Jimmy's going to late night. And
right.
they were like, yeah, but you're not. And we're successful. There's boy. Networks, if you have success, they will hang on with both hands.
Yeah.
You know, they do not want you.
What they
to
identify
leave.
was in the case of with me and Charlie, I don't think that Comedy Central really understood the value that me and Charlie added to that show. Mm-hmm. They were just wishing that they would come back, but I was like, "This y'all don't understand, man. Talk to the streets. You know, it's his show. He's the marquee guy. It's his show. But there's a team of people that contribute to you winning that championship. They never understood that, and we never really had an opportunity after that with that network, and we just continued to do what we were doing."
Were you guys filming on Hollywood Center Studios, or where'd you film that?
No,
show?
we were at 106 in Park, whatever studio it is. It's the same studio that the show 106 in Park on BET was in, but yeah, that's where we were. We were so low budget, man. It was super low budget.
Yeah, but it's the relationships. That's what makes it good.
It was. We had fun. It was such a creative high because Dave is one of those guys, we start with a blueprint or something, but you know he's going to go off book. You know what I mean? And he wasn't really you got to say it this way. And he trusted us to sometimes bring something. And I thought I was good at it, but I remember one particular sketch. We had been working for 16 hours. It was a player hater sketch, right? And it was me, Patrice O'Neal, R.I.P., Rich Voss, Kim, whatever that, I don't want to say. And I'm looking at whatever the Asian guy's name is. I forget his name. I'm so sorry. I'm looking right in your face like, I'm sorry.
I'm really disappointed in you,
I'm
Donnell.
sorry. I don't remember the Asian dude, the Chinese, Korean, whatever. I don't know, whatever. Tomato. But we were there, and we were exhausted, right? It was a sketch where they put these pictures of celebrities and stuff. We were supposed to comment on it, and nobody had not one other joke. And then Dave, out of nowhere, he said, it was a picture of Rosie O'Donnell, right? He said, it looked like she wore boxers with the dick hole in the back. And we all fell out, man. I was like, this is what separates this guy from everybody else. He never stops thinking about the joke, and there's always going to be a next joke.
Are you out in Yellow Springs, Ohio now?
I am.
And he's out there, right?
Yes.
I was trying to figure out, is he building like a comedy compound out there?
I don't know, compound meaning housing for comedians and stuff like that?
I just mean, I don't know, a network, an amusement park for comedians. Like, I don't have a good term for it.
Well, it's a comedy club.
Yeah, I guess what I'm saying is like Joe Rogan moved out to Austin, and then he opened a comedy club, and I feel like
comics out there.
Yeah, but
comics
Joe created a comedy scene.
Right.
He basically brought half of the Comedy Store. When I talk about that, I mean managers and everything. And if you haven't been to the mothership, it makes you feel like you're at the Comedy Store. Dave built a comedy club. And I think that, I honestly think Dave built a comedy club just so he could like leave his house and go tell jokes down the street. You know, but his idea is to bring like entertainment, because he has this series now called The Sound Check. He's already, Mary J. Blige has stopped past there. Travis Scott has stopped past there. Fred Yarnett. He's got Rakim Allah from Rakim Allah, the legendary rapper with Irk B and Rakim. So he's creating a vibe in Yellow Springs, and it's pretty decent.
How's the town?
Very small, very simple, very Midwest, liberal. It's a cool, like I like it, and I fell for it during the pandemic when I went out there. Right, we was doing those cornfield shows and everything, and I realized that you can learn to appreciate like the simple, slow things in life. Yeah. I look at my life as chaotic as it is. Do I want to live in that, or do I want to go to it, or do I want to go away from it? But for me, it's like it's a feeling of peace. It's calm, and it's very small town vibe. One of my friends told me, one of my neighbors said, Yellow Springs is a great place to live if you can afford to travel. Like being there every day, like for half the year, I'd probably lose my brain. But it's a place where I just go and relax and decompress and just chill.
Can you get out of it and get to places? And
one thing, and this is the explanation Dave said why he started flying private everywhere. It's just it's always a connecting flight.
Right.
No direct. I mean, you could get directs, like where we stay. Dayton is the closest airport. It's probably like a 20-25 minute drive, and then you go out. Columbus is like 40-45 minutes, and then Cincinnati is like 55 to an hour. I'm a newbie, and I don't have a problem with the driving. Like one of my favorite flights when I leave LA is the red eye that leaves here and it gets to Cincinnati at 6 o'clock. It's like 50 minutes from my house, but I know this sounds corny, and please don't, it's going to really diminish my gangster. I like watching the sunrise.
Oh, really? You do?
God,
I feel renewed.
Fuck Corey, man.
His eyes are watering.
I'm about to kill somebody when I leave here now, man. I like it. Like, that's so tranquil, and it's another non-gangster shit.
Give us all the non-gangster shit. What's
I like floating down the river.
Oh, on an inner tube?
On a kayak.
Oh, even worse.
I like floating down the Zero Course River. I said it, Adam. What the fuck you want from me, man?
And what are you drinking?
White Claws.
Oh, no. God damn it, no. And what are you listening to?
Hootie and the Blowfish.
Oh, shit. No.
And when the sun comes out tomorrow, let her cry.
Oh. Do you have, you ever get any Dave Matthews in there?
Oh. Big Whiskey's my favorite album.
Oh, God.
Shake You Like a Monkey, baby. I could never go back to the hood fucking with this show, man.
Are you driving a Prius or what do you got?
Toyota Tundra.
Oh, no.
1,500 pounds of pure payload.
Oh, do you have
I don't even know what the fuck payload is, but I got it.
You have like a Yakima rack on there for your kayak?
Jaeger bomb shot for everybody.
Oh, shit.
Jaeger bomb.
Do you...
God damn it.
You don't go to Bass Pro Shops, do you, to get your kayak equipment, do you?
Hobby Lobby at Home Goods.
Oh, no. Oh, God damn it. Okay. Are you thinking about opening for Nate Bargatze soon? Or...
I need a second.
All right, just take a second. We may be able to find some gin and some juice somewhere in here and see if we can just kind of bring
Adam,
the temperature
I don't know how
down a
you
little
take
bit.
this, but fuck. I got an erection in TJ Maxx parking lot waiting for it to open so I can get a Himalayan salt block.
Oh!
How much longer do I have on this fucking
All
podcast?
right, you're going to have an issue. Man.
How do I come back?
I don't know how we're going to recover from this. I
are
can
you?
tell you we'll welcome you into the community. I don't know.
I'm already in the fucking community.
you're
That's
right.
the problem.
Okay.
I want to get out.
All right.
The turtleneck makes sense now.
All right.
And now I'm taking jokes from an Asian dude. What the fuck is wrong with my
I don't even know his
life?
name. Listen, I could offer you some vegan sushi after the show and see if we could just sort of maybe get something in your stomach. Pop you a White Claw.
I think I could use that.
Yeah. All right. Should we move on? I just want to reflect on this.
Mental health is real, Adam.
Does Chapelle know about the kayak and the White Claws and
Yes.
the Hootie and the Blowfish
Yes.
and the Bass Pro Shops? Waiting outside for...
He knows and he respects it.
He does? Okay. All right. And you guys
It's
can
big.
you guys can move forward, right?
All right, you got a
It's okay.
tissue or something? I think something is in my eye.
Yeah, I don't know that we have tissues. I know you're pretty heavily into recycling, and we just kind of believe that ends up in a landfill. So I know you're pretty
I
oriented toward
moved
the
to Yellow Springs and I give a fuck about trees, Adam. You know how I used to do the trees?
Piss on them?
Exactly.
That's right.
Thanks,
Now
man.
you care. Okay. Got some bamboo flooring at the new place. Okay. I'll tell you what. Why don't we take a quick break?
Please.
And we'll let you get your composure.
Yeah.
We're going to come back. We'll do some news and cleanse your palate, all right?
Okay.
Okay. We'll take a quick break. Be right back after this. Let me tell you about Rosetta Stone. My kids, they're heading off to college, and they want to travel. And they're going to have to learn new languages wherever they go. And that's where Rosetta Stone comes in. The most trusted language learning program in the world. Available on desktop or as an app. It truly immerses you in the language you'll be learning. 30 years and millions of users later. 25 different languages: Spanish, French, Italian, German, Korean, Chinese, Arabic. Dr. Drew and his wife use this all the time and swears by it. Especially said his wife's French has really been coming along with Rosetta Stone. Designed for long-term retention, no English translations. Learn to speak, listen, and think in the language you're learning. Plus, the built-in true accent feature gives you feedback on your pronunciations. Lifetime membership has all 25 languages for 50% off. That's Rosetta Stone, right, Dawson?
Don't put off learning that language. There's no better time than right now to get started. For a very limited time, Adam Carolla Show listeners can get Rosetta Stone's lifetime membership for 50% off. Visit rosettastone.com/Adam. That's 50% off, unlimited access to 25 language courses for the rest of your life. Redeem your 50% off at rosettastone.com/Adam today.
Jungle fever is interracial dating. I had jungle fever before. I had jungle fever so bad, I used to go hunting for white chicks. I used to go to the farmer's market every Sunday. 6 o'clock in the morning, I had the farmer's market outfit on. I had a baseball cap, I kept squeezing the brim, make it look like a Hootie and a Blowfish hat. I had a Bruce Springsteen t-shirt, cut off shorts, I had flip-flops, Pilates ball under one arm, I had a yoga mat on the other arm. I had a recycle bag made out of a recycle bag that was just recycled with a whole bunch of kale and gluten-free stuff. White chicks love kale and gluten-free. A year ago, I didn't even know what gluten-free meant. This dude said gluten-free. I was like, how long was he locked up, dog?
Donnell Rawlings is on the Adam Carolla Show.
A New Day is the name of the special.
Yeah,
on
so that
Netflix.
time I was about to kill this motherfucker, Adam, the motherfucker rolled up on me, right? I was like, the fuck out my face. You know what I'm about. And bop, 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 bop. Bitch ass motherfucker. Don't play with me, nigga.
Oh, would you put a cap in his
I
ass?
put a hot one in him.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know how I do.
Donnell, we understand who you
Yeah,
are now.
motherfuckers gonna stop playing with me. I'm about that life.
You don't need to overcompensate.
Right. What do you mean?
We get how you are now.
My gangster.
You live in a small town, Ohio. You're kayaking.
That was
you're
part of.
listening to
That's a
Hootie.
summer home.
You have to do this with us.
It's fine.
It's a
It's fine.
summer home.
Listen, it's a new
It's
life.
a summer
Embrace it.
home, and it's for extended weekends. That's the only thing I do there. Outside of that, I'm up. You know what it is.
Yeah, you're in the hood like OJ's in the hood.
Yeah.
Which is not in the hood.
Bronco for life. Y'all know what I do. Stop playing with me.
Yeah. OJ was a
I know what OJ is. Stop playing with me.
Okay. All right. Listen, you don't have to convince us. We
I'm
love
not.
you.
This is my life, Adam. What you talk?
Whoever you are, we accept you.
Yeah, all right. Don't play with me.
No. We
Respect my gangster. No cap. You heard?
Yeah.
You already know.
Yeah. No, I know. Okay. I get it. Sorry about the beats mix up. Maybe I feel like that's sent to us.
I ain't
in a
tripping off no
trajectory.
beats. I don't need no beats. I'm my own man.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
beats asses.
Right.
Talk
Okay.
about beats around me. Blook-up, blook-up, blook-up.
Yeah. All right, you want to do some news?
If it's good news, the fuck out of here. I want some, how many people died in Brooklyn last week? That's what the fuck I want to know.
All right, Chris, how many people died in Brooklyn
I don't
last week?
have that information.
Oh, it's not?
yet,
Oh, okay.
no.
Well,
The
what do you got?
Bronx.
You got bad news?
I got to start out of Wisconsin.
All right.
You do that?
Yeah, I know.
You're trying to trigger me.
I know you love cheese, and you probably spent a lot of time in Wisconsin, Donnell. Go ahead.
All right, just 40 minutes outside of Milwaukee, there's some new dash cam footage of this horrific collision with an Amazon truck and a train. So this happened in
What?
2021.
That's my man right there. We used to rob motherfuckers together, bruh.
Yeah, the driver.
Ray.
Was Tracy Morgan in that truck?
Oh!
So sorry, but he's got a lot of street cred, you know. He still has a lot of street cred. Tracy does. Some people maintain their street cred, you know, getting everyone pregnant and whatnot.
I can't believe you said that. Too soon.
Too soon.
Too soon. Oh.
All right, what happened?
So he's crossing some train tracks, and an Amtrak train barrels towards him. The train's going about 80 miles an hour, and it just basically just slices this truck in half right behind this driver. And we can watch it. So this is just his. This is the rear view mirror point of view,
Yeah.
and it's crazy footage. And
Was he driving across the tracks or like around the gate or something?
Oh.
Wow.
Look at that. Now he's
wow.
just sitting there as this train is just inches behind his seat.
Yeah. Damn. And he's a UPS guy or Amazon guy? I feel like that's probably what happened to a lot of the shit I ordered the other week. He's probably in that truck.
So the train did lay on the horn. He's he's partially deaf in his left ear, this driver, so he says he didn't hear it.
Huh?
Okay. Partially deaf in one ear, and you can't hear that air horn
That's what
from
he
a
said.
train that you can hear 30 miles away. So if I just cupped my hand over one ear and that train was honking, I wouldn't hear it? That seems peculiar to me.
Yeah. He said, and he didn't hear the train or the horn, and but he's okay. No, not a scratch. And finally, the footage came out, and it's crazy.
That is crazy. It's also weird how much we're still into trains in 2024. You know, we're trying to build a bullet train in California. We talk about trains all the time. Trains should have been gone when airplanes showed up in terms of a form of transportation.
Outdated, right?
I'm not into train. I'm into guns. You already know.
Oh, you like, what'd you say, busting?
Busting shots.
Busting shots.
Yeah, give you a hot one in that ass.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So not into trains.
No, we put shots, hot ones. Fireball on your ass, you know?
Yeah. Not into commuter trains, not Amtrak. Mm-hmm.
If we go to trains, we robbing them. You feel me?
Yeah, mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, that's street. I mean, that's real. Gangsta. I mean, hood. That's gangsta.
Gangster, yeah.
Yeah. It's gangsta with an A at the end, or?
Gangster, yeah.
Okay.
Not
No, gangster.
That gets a lot of people in trouble.
You get that ER out of there.
Yeah, yo, once you get that ER, you get used to it. You don't want that.
Maybe that's why. Yeah, you just don't want to get in the habit of saying at the end of everything, because at some point you're going to get into trouble.
You are going to get in trouble. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Tupac or Tupac?
Tupacer.
Hard ER on Tupac.
Please.
Tupacer or not Tupacer.
All right, what else we got?
So Yale has announced that they're bringing SAT testing back as a best, because they say that these tests are the best way to predict success. During the pandemic, they decided to get rid of these tests and just go with high school extracurriculars, GPAs, and but they're like, it's not really working, so we're going to go back to testing.
They always do this. They go, look, we got to get rid of the testing so we can be more inclusive and get more people in. And it's like, all right, so you used to have a test where a cop, to be a police officer, you had to run, a mile in under 8 minutes, and you had to climb an 8-foot wall, and you had to be able to do 12 push-ups. And they go, now let's get rid of that. Mm-hmm. And they go, okay. And then they go, why are all the cops so fat? It's like, because you got rid of all the stuff they needed to do. And what's up with the students at Yale? Well, you got rid of all the gates and the gatekeepers to stop people who don't belong in Yale from getting into Yale.
Right. And this is like weeding out all the
Where
Asians.
was all this shit when I was in high school? I talk to my kids, they're seniors in high school. I go, what's up with the SATs? They don't do those anymore.
I just realized that. I remember some talk about it, but I didn't know they really implemented that.
They go, it's not really a thing. Maybe if you're trying to get into Brown or Harvard or something like your brother.
I took the ASVAB test. That's the military equivalent to SAT test.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I scored high enough to be a police officer. So disappointed my dad. My dad was a lifelong criminal, and he said, out of all them goddamn jobs they got, you want to be a police ass motherfucker? Really disappointed my dad.
Was your dad a lifelong criminal?
Yeah. He was a heroin kingpin in D.C. years ago. He passed away like 4 or 5 years ago. And I understand, it's nothing to be proud about, but he was in the drug game, and I was so happy that he was a kingpin and not just like a guy on the corner selling dime bags. So that's what I had to look up to. My dad is a kingpin.
Yeah. Was he around when you were growing up?
Well, not when you're doing jail time. It's hard to spend as much time. Yeah. He was in and out. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting because I look at that and I look at the relationship that I have with my son. And I never had a problem with my dad. He chose a lifestyle that didn't allow him to spend as much time I think he might have wanted to spend with his kids. Right? I got about 2 handful of great memories with my dad. Mm-hmm. Then when I had my son, I was like, he's not going to go through that. That's why the thing that I appreciate and that my son always understands is, and every day I'm trying to make memories. I don't want him to be like, I remember when I was in school, kids used to share stories about their dad and everything, and they'd be like, yeah, and I'd be like, yeah, I want to listen to more of your stories. I don't have any.
Yeah. So they didn't have what's your son, 9 years old?
8.
I was trying to do some math because he's in the beginning of the special.
Yeah.
Right? Very cute.
Yeah.
And I was trying to think, because you couldn't have your dad come to school on career day, because other dads were firemen and other dads were accountants, and they
my
would show
dad,
up.
his fake job was he was a real estate agent.
Oh, he had a fake job.
Yeah, he had what he told us about. I never saw him sell a house.
I think my dad had a fake job too, except for he didn't deal drugs. He just had a fake job and no other income.
Right.
Yeah. Interesting.
But I, like I said, don't have no bad memories or anything, but I don't have a lot of memories. So it's very interesting.
Yeah. Well, look, you're one of the people I always talk about where you go, you know what it's like to be raised this way, and so you're not going to do it with your son, which I appreciate. But I talk to so many people where they go, well, he got raised that way, so now he's raising his son that way because that's all he knows.
I know, but like you say, what you know should be an example of what you shouldn't do and move forward. And I think
agree.
I think some dads are dope just because of probably the experiences they had coming up. And I mean, this guy's my everything.
Your son?
He has me. Yeah, that's just my guy. He says stuff like the other day, about 4 or 5 months ago, I said, what do you want to do? He was like, I want to be in entertainment. And I was like, don't tell me that. Part of, the dad in you wants to say, he wants to walk in dad's footsteps. But then when you think about all the trials and tribulation and how not horrible, but how bad this business could be if you don't have tough skin. And I told him, I was like, well, if it's something you want to get into, I said, first off, you can't get upset because he gets upset about that. I was like, you're not going to be able to have that attitude. Prepare yourself for people telling you no all the time. Everybody's not going to be supportive. You might be lucky if the family supports you, right? And I was like, you got to think about that. I said, well, maybe, have you ever thought about maybe being like a funny doctor or a funny lawyer or something? And he was looking at me like, meh. Right? And then I was like, why do you want to do this? And this one broke me down. He said, Daddy, because you inspire me. I'm like, oh.
Wow.
This dude is like, it's just stuff like that just makes me start cutting onions.
What if he named that podcaster Talk Shit About Chapelle as his inspiration?
Talk shit about the name of a podcast?
No, what if your son said, who inspires me?
What?
The guy who does the podcast who talks shit.
Oh, Corey Holcomb.
Yeah. I'd like to coach that kid up. I'll give him $30.
You gotta get out of here, son.
Funny.
Nah. And the crazy thing about that Holcomb thing, like, I can appreciate different styles of comedy. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you stick to it. I'm weird like that. Like, there's people that do dark humor that's like hacky and whack. And then there's people that do dark humor that kill it. Mm-hmm. And the thing that I always said before this, I was like, this like one of the only dudes I know, the audience could be ready to walk out, protest, and go crazy 1 minute, and then 10 seconds later, he hit a punchline, and then everybody's falling out their chair. I understand that, but now not good. Ugh.
All right. Sorry, what else we got?
All right, so Google, they have this new AI program called Gemini. Mm-hmm. And they have, as of us recording it, they have paused this program because there are, quote, inaccuracies in some of the historical pictures that it's generating.
Yeah.
Did you see this?
I heard some stuff about it.
Yeah, so it refuses to create images of white people.
Yes! oh yes! The comeback is real. Yeah.
So you ask it like, hey, can you generate a picture of them signing the Declaration of Independence, and they're the guys will be black, or George Washington will be Asian, and it can't generate white people.
Right. Yeah. I think this is the problem. I think the problem with AI that a lot of white people have or conservatives have is who's feeding AI the information. And then that's the way it's going to answer. And so if you're very progressive, then you are feeding AI what the answer. And then if you said, who's the best president in the world, the AI would go Joe Biden. And then you go, who's the worst president in history? And they go Donald Trump. But is that AI or is that the feelings of the guy who was programming
how do they
AI?
figure that out by your? How do they figure out what you think? Is it because of what you say by your phone, through your phone, what you Google? And how do they figure out what?
I think it just uses everything as
it's
information.
Scary. Yeah, it's scary.
Well, why won't it do white people?
Unclear, and that's probably why they put a pause on it. But like, if you try to ask it to show a picture of a white person, it'll give you it'll say we can't fulfill this request because it reinforces harmful stereotypes and generalizations about people based on their race.
All right, so if you went to AI and you want slave owners, it'd just be black people and Asians,
Or maybe it'll just refuse to do it.
Well, I know they gave us a female pope, I think, on one of these things.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's just been messing with it since they figured this out.
So there's black Nazis, there's Asian female Nazis, German war soldiers.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, so it's a glitch, I guess. So the head of Google Gemini's AI, so they dug up some of his old tweets, and he talks about systemic racism, white privilege being real. So Elon responded to it, and he just wrote, we could put the tweet up here. He just wrote, "What a racist douche nozzle," which then I thought,
Donnell, douche nozzle's my thing.
You can have it.
I got.
I'm not gonna fight you for that one, man.
Yeah, you got. I'm rich, bitch, but
Right,
and I got
douche nozzle.
well, the German accent, it didn't sound good.
Yeah, douche nozzle. I came up with about 25 years ago on the radio, which is why we calling everyone douche bags. Douche bags hanging on the back of the bathroom door. The nozzle's the business end of the douche, and I thought it'd be more insulting to call people douche nozzles than douche bags.
And that's I just had a problem with douchebags. And I remember the time I found out what they were really for. I was like, oh my god, it's not a hot water bottle.
Yeah, yeah. Don't put it on your neck. So, like, if you had a really tough day kayaking, let's say, you wouldn't.
Why are you you triggering me,
said
man?
You love the outdoors.
You are triggering me, bro. That's
so
abusive.
Let's just say you've been fly fishing and on your feet for half a day, and you get that nice warm douche bag and put it on your casting shoulder.
Yo, mental health is real, Adam.
So Elon's using douche nozzle.
He's using.
I want some
nozzle.
credit for that. All right.
Yeah, we gotta trace it back to you. So China, they are now sending us a new pair of giant pandas. They're going to the San Diego Zoo this year in a boost for what is known as panda diplomacy. After our zoos were left with almost no more
probably
pandas.
Yeah, like a year ago, they took all the pandas back and took them back. Yeah.
Yeah, now they're like,
Check
hey,
those pandas
take
for
them back.
fentanyl. I bet they're stuffed with fentanyl. They're just coming to poison our youth.
I like the salt and pepper chicken.
Salt and pepper
Oh,
chicken.
yeah.
From the Express.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
my favorite.
very tasty.
A la carte with nothing else, though. You just got to get it like that.
You know what's kind of weird? Shitty Chinese food tastes better than good Chinese food. Like Panda Express is awesome.
Yeah, especially when you partake in municipals.
Oh, yeah. Like,
delicious.
Yes. So now we get the bears, right?
We got bears back.
But we have to lease them, as I've said many times. You know, it costs $500,000 to $1 million a year for us to lease the bears from China.
So what happens if a bear gets get pregnant here? Does that break the lease, or who has ownership of that?
We try to get them pregnant.
Oh, that's all I hear about in DC. I forget what the name of the panda was.
You guys
I know
had
she got,
famous pandas.
like Ling or something
Ling
like
Ling
that. But
and, yeah.
every year they was like, she's having that. Never mind.
Yeah, they get to name them.
Yeah.
Chinese do.
But who keeps the baby panda?
I think it's probably China. The only reason I think it's China's is because this is the rawest deal ever. They lend us a couple of bears. All the bears do is sit and eat, and we have to feed them. We have to beg them to fuck, but they're not horny.
Right.
We don't get to name them. And when they shit out a kid, China keeps it.
Do you think you'd be ready to fuck if motherfuckers are staring at you through a cage all the time and you got to eat when they say you would? Would you be aroused by that?
A lot of people were staring at me through glass. It would probably slow my roll, but at some point the boner would take over.
Has to happen.
Whoa! At some point, and if you're going to show me panda porn,
that's a whole different.
we showed them panda porn.
Panda porn is
They have panda porn, and they show it to
They
them.
really?
Yeah, they go like, "Hey, things heating up. You in the mood?"
The animal kingdom, when it comes,
What do you think? There has to be one zoologist, scientist who works at the zoo who got caught beating off to the panda porn. You love pandas, we know that, right?
oh my God.
There's a great love for pandas, and you got the panda porn. guy probably had a beer at lunch, and just was left alone in the observation room and popped into panda porn.
He's desensitized now.
Yeah.
Kind of anything's on the table.
But the way
show
they do
him
with
panda
different
porn.
colors, it looks like interracial porn right now too.
It really is.
Oh, I
it's
guess
a lot of
it
ebony and
counts.
ivory on that bear. Yeah. Trying to think. What do you think? You think the panda black and white breakdown is 50-50, or are we like 63% white? That's how I'd like it, by the way.
But you're white. You would see.
Yeah, I'd like a majority white.
You see
I like a
white.
majority white panda.
That's what.
It's broken down like your school was, right?
Exactly. And I stayed on that side of it.
You stay on your right side of the panda, son.
T.C. Williams of pandas.
I think a panda it's really your school. It's about a 70-30 black white
But it's
ratio.
not anymore. It's like a super Hispanic now.
Oh, today's panda?
No, today's.
Okay, I got confused.
Today's T.C. Williams, yeah.
Oh, okay.
The Salvadorians came and took over. It's pupusas on every corner now.
Oh, man. So, anyway, we got him back.
Got him back.
They're in San Diego.
And you said about $1 million a year for a pair of pandas.
Yeah, and we don't get to name them.
I know.
But Dawson, look it up. Who gets the panda offspring?
It all goes back to China. I don't even have to look it up.
It's
China.
the dumbest deal in the world for us.
Yeah, no. The people in San Diego should have just said, keep your fucking panda, bro.
That's right.
We don't need it.
We're going to take
We're
that
San
money.
Diego.
We're giving that money to the schools.
People are coming here anyway.
But at the school, are they the biggest? I mean, I know these pandas like this. I get more views. I mean, is a panda like the most visited, or is people, would they specifically go there just because I want to see pandas? And I think it's going to be a spectacle now since they had a hiatus and coming back.
Yeah.
So they're going to be like, guess who's home, y'all?
Everyone's going to be into seeing the pandas, and the koalas are pissed. Because they're sitting there and they see all the people coming in. They go, all right, here we
good to
go.
go.
It's on. And they turn and head toward the panda cage. And then they start talking shit about pandas.
Nice. Also,
Back at you, panda.
they didn't just agree to give it to us. They agreed to take the San Diego Zoo's fucking money and then bring a panda.
When are they coming?
Thanks, Dawson. I think we covered
You
that.
did? I didn't. My bad.
Pretty clearly. Well, they charge us $1 million, right?
Yeah.
That's the part where they take the money.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. No confusion there.
Yeah,
no.
Been discussed.
Sure.
Okay. Many times. All right.
Yeah, so we'll get them. I don't know when they're coming. It's just the agreement has happened, and they don't even know which pandas they're sending yet.
We have a baby panda here. China waits 3 to 4 years for it to mature.
We have to raise the panda too.
Before
What happens
taking
if
it back.
the panda dies on American soil?
War.
Yeah, that's World War III. Pandemonium. Yeah, that's Dawson's joke.
Pandemonium, that's a good one. Toss up.
Yeah, that's an international event, and that's going to start a war.
That's funny.
Yeah. I feel like if Trump gets back in office, we're just going to keep those pandas.
Pandemonium. We have more pandas.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, let's do one more here.
All right, so the world's tallest man has reunited with the world's shortest woman in Irvine, according to the Guinness World Record. They are Sultan Kozan, he's 41, and Jyoti Amji, she's 30. Sultan is from Turkey. He is 8'3", and Jyoti is 2'7". Yeah, and so they I guess they get together every once in a while just to show that we're the same species somehow.
Yeah. Or so he can just rest his balls on her
I
forehead.
feel so sorry for her. I thought about that. I'm so wrong.
Well, who dies first? Like, little people don't make it as long as regular sized people, but super tall people don't make it as long as regular sized people as well.
What ethnicity are they of the same ethnicity?
No, the guy is from Turkey and the girl is from India.
So they dating?
They should.
They should, although.
Yeah, I do see chemistry, but they just get together based off their height.
We're all
Put 'em
thinking the
together.
same thing.
Yeah.
Right now, we're all thinking the same
We'll
thing.
show them some panda porn.
That's what I was
Panda porn's
thinking
on the
about.
table.
Yeah. Yeah, all right. I don't know if we, although I did, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar did my radio show once, and I said to him, what is it? You have thoughts about death? Because super tall people don't make it as long as regular sized folk. And he's like, what?
Confused?
You don't see 80-year-old guys that are 7 foot
Yeah.
tall. And he goes,
That is true.
I don't know what you're talking about. I said, oh, shit. I was like, you never given it any consideration? He's like, no.
And that was it.
Well, not
I was
till
like,
now.
I was like, oh,
Thanks.
fuck. Even just hitting your head on a door jamb could take you out,
Yeah.
you know? Like, I never see any guys that
Oh,
are.
that's crazy. That's just they want to sell tickets to something.
You don't see 75-year-old guys that are 6'9", you know?
I hear their hearts have to work harder because there's more
whatever,
more distance for the
something,
blood to
yeah.
pump.
But not
Not him.
Not
He
the
does break
captain.
his hip a lot. Speaking of Kareem, though, I'm so bummed about Winning Time being canceled because that was such a good show. I know you were on it.
Yeah, I thought we were going to come back. Well, I don't know what happened. I know it was some talk about a third season. I don't know if they stopped in the middle of production or whatever, but it was a very, 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 very interesting show. It was pretty funny.
It was a great show.
Yeah.
I love that show.
I got to work with Earthquake and Joe Pepitone, I think it was. It was good times.
Hey, Earthquake is also one of the specials that Dave.
Yeah, the home team.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
producing.
You know why? Let me explain why school's a waste. So my son loves basketball. And when he was, I don't know, probably 9, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar came in here for a long interview. And I said to him, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's coming tomorrow. And he's like, oh, I could come in. And then somebody, mom or somebody's like, that's a school day. And I said, what the fuck?
skip
When were you
school.
going to third grade? What the fuck
Right,
are you going to
right,
learn?
right, right.
Who cares? I can't remember a day. I'm just there to cheat off of Cynthia Nagatani, and he's like, I could just come in with me to work, and then you can meet Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And he's like, oh. And then it got shut down. No. He's missing enough school, whatever. Once every 2 weeks, he just says to me, God damn it. I wish I could have.
Yeah. You couldn't
Yes.
veto that? Or you just...
You know,
you don't want the problems.
You got to pick your battles.
Right.
You know how that works.
So, Kareem, you think Kareem Abdul-Jabbar would be excited that you didn't pick the battle for him?
I didn't even bring it up to the man. I had a good conversation with him. Maybe we talked about jazz in Harlem or something like that. But
You should have fought that fight. I'm telling you, you should have fought that fight. That's kind of weak of you.
yeah, you're right.
Nobody's ever called you a pussy?
It's not too late.
Well, if they did, I'd pop a cap in their anus.
Put a hot one in them. Huh?
Yeah. My friend Two-Packer,
Yeah.
he told me before Medium Smalls was gunned down.
Biggie Smalls.
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Out
can
in
you give
front of
Adam
the-
some gangster
Nah, he-
lessons here?
Nah, he wouldn't fight
Yeah.
for Kareem. I don't want to
He
deal with this
knows
dude.
I'll be dumping part of my 35-ounce out.
It's 40 ounces.
Okay, listen, I'm up with the cost.
Right, but it's 40, and then you got to, and when you get to 40, when you bust a hot one in them, and when they're 6 feet under, you take the 40 ounce and you pour it down in their honor. That's how you represent the streets, Adam.
Well, I got shorties. Too. Bitches and hoes.
Yes.
And I got a backhand like John McEnroe, and if the bitch steps up, I'm smacking the hoe.
Okay, there you go. That's it, man. That's it. That's it.
Effective, yes.
So that's all you need to know.
That's it.
Yeah.
David Matthews will be proud of you right now.
Well, he's the guy who originally told me that bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks.
All right.
Suck on these balls and lick on this dick. That was a Dave Matthews song.
Oh man, we need prayer right now, man.
More
We
than
need
ever.
prayer,
Let's
man.
get Mark Wahlberg up in this hizzy.
Let's get some prayer going on, man.
All right, Donnell's got a hard out, so we're gonna respect that. This special is really funny special.
Thank you.
A New Day. It's available now on Netflix. And you can go to DonnellRawlings.com for tickets and dates. And
Tickets and dates. Somebody said, Donnell, what's next for you? I was like, it doesn't. This is how I feel as a comic, a working comic. Somebody said, I know my agents don't want to hear this, right? They said, what's next for you? I was like, it doesn't have to be anything else. The fact that I can get a decent living, telling jokes. You know what I'm saying? I'm not overly excited about it. I need a TV show. I need a movie. I know they're going to hate this. They're going to be like, you can't talk like this. But I'm so happy where I am. I'm so happy that what makes this special to me, I would say 20 years ago when I was still trying to get a name for myself. Not that I'm all that right now. It would have been like, this will be my calling card. This is when people be introduced to me. But it's enough people know me now to make a decent living. But I think this is like, my fans have been following me for a long time. That's been like, when is he going to get one? That's seen other people get specials and kind of like tanked. I think that they're excited for the world to see like what I can do as a stand-up. So as the song says, it's a new day, it's a new dawn, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good.
Love that Hootie and the Blowfish.
You wouldn't say that. I tried to dismount. You disrespectful, man.
It's good to be here. Donnell, great seeing you, my friend. We'll take a quick break. Be right back after this. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Well, they're in the business of keeping your car on the road. O'Reilly offers friendly, helpful service and parts and knowledge you need to do all your own maintenance and repairs. They've got thousands of parts and accessories in stock, either in store or online, so you never have to worry. If you're in a jam, they'll help you out. When you're a do-it-yourselfer and need a specialty tool to finish the job, well, stop by O'Reilly and ask for one of their loaner tool programs, because there's a lot of real special tools when it comes to doing certain jobs on cars. Simply pay a refundable deposit and borrow the right tool, then get the deposit back when it's returned, so it's free. They'll help you find the right part or point you to the nearest local repair shop for help. Plus, they can test your battery for free, in or out of the car, so you don't have to pop it out. The professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts are your one-stop shop for all things auto, and you can find what you need in the store or online. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam. That's O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam.
It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Guy Dude Bro, Greg and Charlotte here, where we have 2 Top Golfs, 2 PF chains, and now on 98.7 FM, the Black Information Network. Charlotte's got its shit together, my friend. Come join us when you leave L.A.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
Dr. Sheila Nazarian has joined us. She's got a podcast called The Closet Podcast, wherever you listen to finer podcasts. Plastic surgeon, TV personality, activist, so much more. Good to see you.
Thank you so much for having me.
So I guess the first thing that pops in my head when I think about plastic surgery is what's popular now? What's hot? What's everyone doing?
You know, I try to stay away from all the trends because the way I look at people is, when you go buy a couch for your house, you don't buy a Paisley couch. You buy a neutral couch and you change the pillows. Mm-hmm. So I don't go with these trends because they come and go, and then now you just basically locked yourself into this look that you might not want for life.
Right.
So typically my patients are intelligent professionals that just want to look their best. They're not coming in with pictures of celebrities. They're not trying to look like an alien.
Are there more and more men getting procedures done? I mean, I guess if you went back 30 years, you'd probably go, what percentage of men over 50 have gotten some work done? And you'd go less than 10% or some very low number, single digits. Probably up now, right?
I would say maybe just a little bit, but it stayed pretty steady Freddy in that range. We just brought in hair transplantation into our practice, and that's brought in a lot of men. And I would say liposuction is probably the next procedure after that in popularity.
Hair first, lipo second.
Hair matters, apparently.
I know. I was just with Jeremy Piven the other night. And, that hair is back, man. Yeah. Listen, I don't really have a hair issue, but if I did, I'd probably do something about it.
Well, I think, a lot of people are starting to change the way they look at beauty in general or the way they present themselves to the world. It's really self-care at this point. Hey, I got a long life to live. I want to feel my best as I'm doing it, whether that's with working out, eating better.
Where's the lipo? Where are the guys getting the lipo?
Mostly midsection and chest.
Oh, really?
And the neck.
And does it come back? Does it stay away?
You actually don't produce new fat cells after the age of 15. So once they're gone for good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it painful? What's the recovery time?
I think it's gotten better and better, new technologies. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, it's, hurt. Certain areas hurt more than others. Like the lower back tends to be thicker fat. So we kind of have to go apeshit on it when we're doing liposuction. So, but, it's not, terrible, terrible. It just depends on how much fat you have and how thick it is.
I don't know why this just popped in my head, but somebody said, and I can't even remember who, like 2 days ago, they went, Brad Pitt's had a facelift.
Oh, yeah.
And
There's somebody in here.
Yeah, but I can't remember who said it or why they said it, but I was like, yeah, I could kind of see that because it seems a little smoother than he was
It's not
4
just
years
that.
ago. What is it? What is a facelift? Like, what is the definition? Like, when someone goes, Brad Pitt had a facelift, what are we even talking about?
First, I want to say any celebrity you see that's 50 and older that has zero neck laxity had a facelift. Like, it's just not possible. Okay.
Right.
Secondly, a facelift is basically a procedure that tightens the muscles of the midface and the neck and the lower face, removes excess skin. And the way I do it, I also do a fat transfer into the face, into the areas that we've lost bone and muscle, as everyone tends to do as they age.
If you go back and you look at Joe Biden about 4 or 5 years ago, you see like the little turkey gobbler sort of the neck laxicity. You'll see him, the guy's 75, he's got that.
It's appropriate.
But then at some point, you see it at 75, but then at 78, you don't see it anymore. And I'm like, what happened to that thing?
Well, I mean, with Joe Biden, you can actually see his incisions.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, you can look it up. It's online.
Oh, what do they do?
So it's an incision that goes, from above your ear, whether it's in front of the hairline, in the hairline, whatever, comes down, follows the front of your ear, goes behind your ear in the crease, and then back along the hairline or into the hairline. And so basically it's this movement.
So they just pull it.
Well, we pull it now with the muscles underneath. So we're doing a tightening procedure on the muscles, and then we remove the skin that is excess as well.
So that was a Biden. You can see the
You can see the incisions. That's not new.
Oh, all right.
There you go. You were right all along.
I don't know how somebody gets rid of something that's there. It's one thing. Well, like when somebody loses weight, you go, oh, I could see what happened. He lost a bunch of weight. But he didn't lose a bunch of weight. He just had
If you lose weight, you get more skin laxity.
Right.
Because you're deflating the balloon, right?
Right.
Yeah, we've seen Face Off. We know how
We know
operations
the
work.
science of
You
how
guys
faces
can
work.
basically do it at this point.
Yeah.
So I know you're more than skincare
Thank
and
God.
procedures and things
Let's
like
get
that.
to that part.
I know you did a video for PragerU.
I did.
I've done a few videos for PragerU.
That's a great freeze frame
Well,
right
we'll
there.
play it.
No freeze frame is ever good.
That's true.
No freeze frame is ever good. But let me ask you this question. I'm not the first comic to think about this, but like, you do have this thing all the time where you do event. I did events. I did a thing. I took 50 selfies with people. Every time they do it, you go, that's not a good shot of me. That doesn't look right. And then every time they stop, no matter where you are, wherever they stop it, it's not flattering. But at a certain point, maybe you're ugly.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? Not you.
It happened.
But I'm just saying, if there's no place you could ever stop my face that wasn't flattering, then maybe that's on me
Are you
at a
just saying
certain
you're
point.
accepting it now?
I'm
Adam, I
starting
can
to
help
accept
you with that,
I'm
you know?
starting to accept my...
I can help you.
I have a sense of humor. Listen.
I'm just kidding.
I got all my hair.
Thank God.
I'm over 6 foot.
You're winning.
And I have a sense of humor.
You won.
I should be able to be ugly. For the
You're not
love of
ugly.
Christ.
Stop it.
All right, but I can get by on my personality. And I have a skill set.
You do.
I'm a carpenter.
You are?
Yes.
That's how I got into plastic surgery, was wood shop.
Really?
Yes. I was the only girl in the 4th grade. I almost dropped it because I didn't have any friends in the class. I kept going, and you do the little blueprint. It's so anal, and the arrows have to be like this, and the twos have to be exactly, you can't do a 2 like this. It has to be 2. And I love that accuracy. And then I built my bookshelf. And I'm like, that's it. I'm either becoming an architect or an orthopedic surgeon. I need to work with like building things.
Interesting.
Yeah, but then neither of those fit the bill, so plastic surgery was just right.
I think we got a clip from PragerU to play with you on it. So funny. I love PragerU.
Me too.
And I love how much shit they take when they get into some school system. Or, these are the guys who denied the Holocaust. And then there was like...
It's like Dennis Prager.
Yeah, Dennis Prager.
Denied the Holocaust. Okay.
I do love that. I love it. I love it when assholes on the left get on a roll you know, and they go, he's homophobic
No,
and
do you know
he's
what's my
xenophobic and
favorite
he's-"
thing? My
Yeah.
favorite thing is when people comment about it. I say, okay, send me the clip, the exact part that offends you
Right.
about PragerU. So they go on this journey and they red pill themselves. It's hilarious.
Right. They can't bring up the clip.
They
you know?
cannot.
And they always do this thing where
just
they
know we have to hate
They
it,
go like,
Yeah.
not an accredited college, you know. It's like, oh yeah, Dr. J, not a physician.
What?
He just called himself Dr. J. It's called PragerU. They don't claim to have a basketball or football team. They make 5-minute videos. They know they're not accredited as a university. They think, oh, we got him now. And it's like, no, you don't. They make 5-minute videos, dickheads. All right, let's see the vids.
I had worked on a few shows that never got picked up, but one of the producers from one of those shows came and got me for what is now Skin Decision on Netflix. When the show launched in July of 2020 during the pandemic, everybody was eyes on Netflix. So it was amazing. Tons of exposure. I was getting messages from all over the world. You know, you inspire me. You gave me permission to feel like I can take care of myself and not see it as vanity, but as self-care. After the show, it was a monsoon. I had to get a call center in place. I mean, it was like my staff looked like chickens with their heads cut off. It was just more than we could have ever anticipated. People talk about glass ceilings, but I never felt it. I just, worked really hard and did my best, and nothing ever felt like it was impossible to me. Everything felt like it was available, and it just depended on how hard I was willing to work.
Yeah.
Amen.
All right. That's what we do in this country.
Yes.
I'm not sure why we keep arguing with that.
By the way, the video is called "I Am Proof the American Dream is Alive."
Yeah, Dennis Prager actually told me, and I'll never forget it. He said, "You are the most successful immigrant story I've ever heard."
Oh, really?
Really?
That's high praise.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah. And I don't know, it's very troubling to me that we're constantly trying to convince certain groups in this country that they can't succeed because there's some sort of bounty or something on them.
Well, we have to look at, who benefits from
Yes.
divisiveness, who benefits from victim culture, who benefits by keeping people down and then using them as a joystick for
Yes.
power and control.
Yes, obviously. I mean, but I don't, am I expecting too much in that? I didn't know everyone would go there.
Go where?
It's like Joe Biden, shortly after his facelift, promised that he would run this country from the center, and he was going to unite everybody, and there was going to be no more of this. We were going to get the trials and the tribulations. The adults are in the room now. Mm-hmm. We're going to steer it back to the center, and it's going to be smooth sailing, and never stop talking about white supremacy.
Yeah.
And just stirring sort of the racial kettle, like just doing it all the time. And I'm like, I'm disappointed.
Well,
I'm literally, and people go, well, what do you expect them to do? And it's like, I don't know. They're starting a race riot. Like, what do you mean, what do I expect them to do? I expect them to be responsible or honest or something.
I think what they're doing is distracting from the craziness within their own party, in the squad, and in this alt-left, anti-Semitic culture.
Yes.
And so they
we can
keep...
call it a cult even
Cult,
as well.
fine, thanks. But, they keep harping on white supremacy. Now, from the data that I looked up, in 2019, the Ku Klux Klan has 4,000 or 5,000 members. They have zero funding, zero ability to pass legislation, and are basically just, tiki torches and, marching through Nashville a few days ago. They're not the threat. The threat are the people that are well funded by the Socialist Democrats of America, aka the Squad, that are passing legislation, that are pushing these woke ideologies in colleges and brainwashing and indoctrinating our children. And let me tell you, Adam, it smells and sounds exactly like pre-revolutionary Iran. I have a friend who escaped North Korea, and she says...
You experienced that.
I experienced it personally. I have a friend who speaks about this. She was a student at Columbia University. I am an alum of Columbia University. She was in a class, and they were teaching her the same things they were teaching her in North Korea.
Right. Yes. Right.
I mean,
but here's the question. This is not definable by people. They don't understand what's going on. That's the part that's I'm flummoxed by it.
Ask yourself, why do you understand what's going on?
I understand what's going on because I don't have an education and I did not go through any systems and I have no formal training. I just have a kind of which way the wind's blowing. And you could tell me until you're blue in the face about the Klan and white supremacy, and then I would go, I've traveled this entire country 5 times, and I've been everywhere, and I've met everyone, and I've never met a Klansman.
Okay,
I've
so
never
you
seen
have
it.
experience.
Right, and you could tell me about killer bees that were coming in from Mexico, but after about year 17, I'd go, you know what? I've never seen a killer bee, and I've never been attacked by one, and I don't know anybody who's that. And you could tell me all you wanted about the dangers of COVID, and I'd be like, there's no kid in my neighborhood who got COVID and died, or even got COVID and sick. So you know what? I don't believe what you're talking to me about.
So it's all about personal experience and having traveled the world and seeing for yourself. Now imagine you are a kid who's never seen war. You've
Right.
never traveled. You are put into this university system, and now, I'm sorry, K through 12 system that is teaching you that this is what's actually happening in the world.
Yes.
You're turning on the TV, you're watching TikTok, you're on social media, and everyone's pointing in that direction. And
Yes.
you don't have any of your own life experience. You've never lived through war. You've never escaped Islamist radical
Yes.
ideologies. So
Right.
what are you going to believe?
No, I get it, and that's really why I find it so nefarious that the leaders, the people who've been around, who understand statistics, they know how many white cops shoot unarmed black men every year. They know it.
Listen to me. I posted this literally 3 days ago. And there's like 5 comments on my Instagram. You should take this down. Why? It's the data. Don't you want data? Don't you want facts? They're like, you should take this down. I'm like, why?
It drives me nuts. I had a crazy Uber driver who was a fan of mine the other day tell me how brave I was. And
Why
I just
is
go,
it brave?
That's what I said. I said, I just deal in facts and statistics. And if it's true, then I say it. He goes, still brave. I go, not brave.
You know, my family,
Just true.
Let me tell you, my family escaped on the back of a pickup truck through the desert into Pakistan from Iran while being shot at by border police.
Right.
They did this so their 2 daughters would have a future. As you can see, the women in Iran, what's going on over there right now, they knew they didn't want to raise their daughters there.
Right.
And they brought us to this country so we can have freedom of thought and freedom of speech. And now you're telling me to shut up? No.
Yes. Good
Not
for
going to
you.
happen.
Well, you know, I talk to Dr. Drew about this on almost daily basis because he's always like, where are we at? What's going on? Have we made it? And I'm like, I think I said to him the other day, I said, I think we're past the middle of the river and we're starting to head up toward the shore on the other side. The deep water's done. It's about waist deep now, and we can make it because these bullshit artists, these liars, these fire starters, these total, first off, it's like the fiduciary duty they've given into with these politicians, nonstop race baiting bullshit. The jig is up now. I don't think people listen. I don't think they believe them. I don't think anyone hears any of those yentas from The View and thinks they're talking. I think everyone knows Joe Biden is either lying or doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. No one believes CNN. Don Lemon. Okay, Don Lemon's going to go to Twitter, whatever. We'll never hear from Don Lemon's lying dumbass again. He'll be done. That'll be it. He has nothing to say. He has what CNN wants him to say.
Can I move
think
next
it's
door
done.
to you? Can we be
Yes.
neighbors? Can we hang?
Please. Yes. Listen, all I need is a tummy tuck and a cold one, and you can hang next to me.
My people.
Jesus Christ! And then what happened with Israel, obviously, and Palestine and Hamas? It's like we're living an upside down world.
Did you ever think college students would condone the rape of women? Did you see the report that came out today?
I heard about.
They put hand grenades into the vaginas of these women that they killed. They booby trapped their bodies. They made their family members watch as they were raped.
Yes.
And where are all those Me Too women? Where is Michelle Obama? Where's Angelina Jolie? Where are all these women that stood up with their little signs, Me Too, you know?
No, they're worried about Trump and a second term and what it's going to do to them. Yes, I know, hypocrites and pathetic in a lot of ways. And yes, the report that came out, the atrocities were unimaginable and sort of like almost beyond description and into some sort of like.
Did you see the video?
I will not watch.
I watched it. I actually hosted it for 30 pastors last week. And you can watch it. It's terrible.
Can't.
Yes, you can.
No, I understand what happened. And I'm not even a Jew, you know what I mean?
No, I know. What are you?
I'm sort of agnostic.
Like ethnically.
Oh, Italian.
I am too, Italian. I found out. I'm 73% Italian.
Hey, paisan, moving next door. Bring your scalpel.
It's so, because I thought we were like, Spanish Inquisition, because I'm brown. Most Persians are white, like lighter skin typed. And I thought we were like Spanish Inquisition. I did my genetic testing. And I'm 73 freaking % Italian. I'm more Italian than I am Jewish.
Wow.
So it's atrocities, it's horrible, and yes, there's the Queers for Palestine and all the yentas who are complaining nonstop about women and their rights in this country and all that kind of bullshit who automatically zip it when it comes to real atrocities. Like you have actual heinous sort of vulgar, heinous, real-time atrocities, and we don't hear word one from you bitches, but you're still worried about the transgender toy aisle in California's Target stores and stuff. So obviously it's the height of hypocrisy.
You know what I posted on a few days ago? I got a call from a resident. This is a resident physician in New York. And she told me that in her program to the medical students and the young residents, they were teaching them to do pregnancy tests on transgender women, even if they had a penis intact.
I love it.
This is how far we've gone. And until we start speaking up and saying enough, this is insanity. This is not anatomy. Makes no sense. It's like the emperor has no clothes.
Yes. They rely heavily on scared sheep people who are worried about being removed from their livelihood, and they exploit the fuck out of everybody.
Yeah.
And they go, I'm going to say stuff that's patently insane, and you're going to shut the fuck up and nod your head. Otherwise, you're getting kicked out of this place. They did it with COVID. They do all things with trans. They make up their own shit. Like, oh, well, you'd rather have a live daughter than a dead son because of suicide. You guys just pull statistics out of your assholes and make them up all fucking day, and everyone goes along with it. And rightfully so, because when Roland Fryer says, I'm at Harvard, I'm going to do a little test. I'm going to see if cops are actually racist and actually
That's the video I posted that they told me to take down.
And then he comes up and he goes, no, it turns out cops are less likely to shoot black people. They go, hey, Roland, I want to talk to you in my office for a second. Anyway, here's a cardboard box with a wood grain pattern on it. Put your potted plant in it and hit the bricks. So you learn your lesson. Because people are cowards, and they're not that good. That's the real problem. If you're really good, tell everyone to suck your dick.
Or have a normal conversation. Like, for example, right now, we're in the midst of this whole thing where we're trying to evolve the DEI acronym, which has become like a gut punch to Jews because it has excluded Jews from inclusion.
Yeah, you do well.
Basically, call them a racist if you even question or even say, hey, what about us? Right? This whole DEI, oppressed versus oppressor, proximity to whiteness, this is what has led our college students to condone rape by any means necessary, overthrow the oppressor, right?
Yeah.
So my whole thing right now for our future, I mean, imagine, we're okay now, Adam, but like, where are we going to be 10, 20 years from now when all these college kids, 50% of which condoned Hamas's massacre on October 7th. Yeah. They're going to be the politicians. They're going to be the legislature. They're going to be the presidents of universities.
Oh, are you starting to feel that?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm on a mission to like replace DEI with detail, which is diversity of thought and life experience. Everyone's life experience matters. Bring diversity of thought back.
Yeah, I know. You're just speaking sense to insanity. But let me just say
I'm
this
gonna make it happen.
on a practical level. If the shit really goes down, you can replace that Star David with an Italian horn, and you can slide under the radar with me.
I'm never sliding under the radar.
You're 73% Italian.
I know.
You should have an Italian horn on there, not
you know
the
what's so
Star
funny?
David
I have
hanging from
so
your
many
neck.
of those actually.
You have
because
Italian horns?
I do. The Persians used to give that when I was little for birthday parties or like bat mitzvah gifts. We used to. I have one that's this big.
A giant Italian horn?
Giant Italian horn.
Well, put it on, baby.
I will. I'll do it just for you. I should have worn it today.
Yeah.
Don't be ashamed of it.
So, yeah, it's nuts. But the good news is they're losing their grip.
Do you think so? I hope so.
I do. And I'll tell you why. You go back, let's just take a couple of the big issues of today. You know, you go back 3 years ago, Black Lives Matter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I asked someone about Black Lives Matter, they'd be like, I'm not going to say nothing. I don't want to get in trouble.
I was
don't wanna get in
literally,
trouble."
while people were marching in the streets, going live with black pastors calling out Black Lives Matter as people were marching.
Yes. Well, you're good at what you do, so you can do that.
I don't know. It's either good or stupid. I don't know.
You're stupid at what you do.
Stupid at what I do.
Oh, that's the first one.
So Black Lives Matter, no one gives a shit anymore. People are willing to talk about it. People are willing to sort of out them. There's no more murals in the streets. There's nothing. You know what I mean? Like what the average American, if you just said to them and you went back to 2021, you went Black Lives Matter, and you put a microphone in their face, they'd go like, I no comment, and I support the organization. You know, now you get a much larger group of people willing to speak their mind about
Well,
it.
do you know why I called out Black Lives Matter at the time? They had anti-Semitism in their charter.
Yes, I know.
So how can you claim to be bigoted against when you're bigoted?
Listen.
You don't get to choose your bigotry.
Perfect. That they can't stop themselves. And then if you took something like COVID, or where the origin of COVID, lab leak versus wet market, take a subject like that, everyone would have shut the fuck up 3 years ago. Not me, but everybody else. But now, what would they say? You know? And you could extend that. You could take Black Lives Matter. You could take COVID. You could take the trans movement. What would people have said 3 years ago? Scared shitless to say anything. Not you.
But
Not
listen,
you.
I mean,
But what would they say? What are they saying now?
Listen, on the Netflix show, I treated an adult trans patient. You know, I have no problem with you, going through therapy. If this is what you want to do as an adult, go for it. Don't get into women's sports. Literally watching these videos of these women get battered. And I'm
Yes.
not talking about beat. I'm talking about actual physical battering.
Yes.
On the basketball court, on the volleyball court, in track, in wrestling,
Yes.
in kickboxing.
They're losing their grip.
It makes no sense.
I know, but now we're talking about it. When what's his name, the whatever swimmer was on whatever.
Leah Thomas.
When Leah Thomas hit about 2-3 years ago, everyone was scared shitless to say anything, including everyone on the team, all the parents, and all the faculty. Now people are piping up. So
good.
That's the good news.
That is good news.
There is
We're just delayed.
That is reminding me. Somebody did tweet me my 3-year anniversary of talking shit about the LA Unified School District, and it's a funny one. I love these fucking cowards. So someone tweeted me. It's been 3 years since I started coming out saying open the schools, open the schools, open the schools, and then the LA Unified School District had to respond back to me.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of having a conversation or pulling out some data, they had to go in on me, of course, because they don't have anything. But their response is so perfect, and it's how they roll, and it's how they did it, and it's how they would try to shut everyone up back in the day. And all it is 3 years later, and you realize how transparently dumb it was,
So
and how
bad.
dishonest it was. And you also realize their grift, how their grift works.
It's not even, it's beyond dishonest. It was harmful.
Yes. Oh, yeah. It's harmful to the students.
Yes, it was very
not
harmful.
to them. They get to stay home and get paid. So I told those pussies to get back to work. I think I called them cowards and pussies and things
Yeah.
like that. And they took a
You
little
said
umbrage.
LA teachers either don't want to go back to work or are cowards. Those are the only two options left. And this is February of 2021.
Yes.
And then they responded, who is the coward? The teachers who dare confront government officials and powerful business.
All right, hold on. What government officials in California are you confronting? Who wrote this?
This is the United Teachers of Los Angeles.
Hey, United Teachers, by the way, you want to come on and make your case 3 years
Do you
later.
have a mansion in La Cañada?
Yeah, I have a mansion in La Cañada. Yeah. All right.
I'm coming over for some spaghetti.
You're going to be next door.
Amazing.
Yeah,
They have good a school system there.
I know.
Yeah, and they said, so who's the coward? The teachers who dare confront government officials and powerful business to fight for the health of their students and families.
The health.
Or you,
Me.
who sit safely in your La Cañada mansion, criticizing what apparently you don't even understand. Teachers are working.
All right, so
And then
they're fighting for the students, and they're fighting government in California? Who exactly are they fighting?
They weren't fighting anybody.
Barbara Ferrer, Newsom. Who are they fighting? Garcetti? Who are they fighting? They're all down with shutting down everything.
Government officials and powerful business.
Powerful business.
And they made a nice graphic. Entitlement alert. Adam Carolla calls Los Angeles teachers cowards from his new $7.3 million mansion in La Cañada.
That's it?
Entitlement alert. Look out, everybody. Somebody who works hard and is smarter than you dumb bitches has got something.
And then you responded, that's untrue.
That's untrue.
I called them cowards for my mansion in Malibu.
That's right. I was in Malibu at the time.
There you
so,
go. I mean, you have to be truthful.
Yeah. The other thing they said,
Keep it transparent.
Mark Garrigus, attorney's favorite comment is the first thing they talk shit about. They go, he's talking shit from his $7 million mansion in La Cañada.
Well, how much is the mansion of Patrice Cullors?
Oh,
from Black Lives Matter? I believe it was 5.3 million. I could be wrong.
But she's not talking shit. She's just race hustling. That's different, you know.
That's acceptable.
But anyway, the first round, they attacked me and said I lived in a $7 million mansion, so I wrote 7.3. That's all I wrote back.
They also,
I do love it. Hey, bitches, you can't shame me. I come from nothing. That's what they don't realize.
I love it when they call us privileged.
I love it.
Literally,
I love it.
It's like, no, it's called grit, success, and talent. And that shouldn't be something you're ashamed of.
They think every white person who's successful, like, well, Adam's dad must have owned Warner Brothers or something. No, nobody came from anything.
Right.
So I earned it, so you can shut the fuck up.
Thank you.
They also sent out another response.
Oh, yeah.
They said, teachers are working, Adam, but entitlement blinds you.
Entitlement.
These words are like so.
They love it.
I want to take them out of everyone's vocabulary. Things like privileged, your truth. Proximity to whiteness.
It's same thing with calling everyone racist. They
Yeah.
fuck themselves out. Nobody listens anymore.
Well, they said the entitlement blinds you, and many of the communities we serve have COVID-19 levels 15 times greater than those in La Cañada. Public schools are a reflection of the communities they serve. Your wealthy community has been spared the devastation our communities feel every day.
There you go.
How dare you.
Community.
And what's so sad, I just want to point out, is the schools that are in the communities that are, socioeconomically disadvantaged. Those students were the ones that were hurt most by the schools being shut down because sometimes that's the only meal they get all day, number one. Two, their parents had to stop working to take care of them at home.
Oh, yeah. No, it's always ironic and worse. They always make it worse.
Like defund the police.
Yes.
Who did that hurt?
That
Do you know
hurts the black community.
83% of black people disagreed with defund the police? However, it's these, I'm sorry to say, not black people, these privileged, to use their own word, white women mostly, that want to defund the police when the black community is like, no, we need the police.
No, they don't. When they say they're looking after community, they don't break even. They do harm to the community.
That's what we've seen, unfortunately.
Yes. So
many instances.
That's why they shouldn't be listened to. And, they just did a study where the male brain and the female brain were different. And I feel like some of these ideas are coming from the female side of the brain. Not yours.
Do you think so?
You
Do you
may
think
have a
it's
male
the lowering of testosterone in men?
It's the lowering of testosterone. And by the way, speaking of that, when you were talking about the giving exams, pregnancy exams to people with male genitalia. They just came out with a study that male milk produced by biological males who have transitioned into women, they've announced is every bit as effective for nursing health-wise as actual mother's milk.
Are you serious?
I swear to God, this is the latest.
Because the study that I saw said that there was actually harmful to the brain of the baby.
Well, I'll tell you what's harmful to the brain of the baby, being raised by this fucking nut job. That's going to be more harm than any milk is going to be. But there is a study, came out very recently, in the last couple of days, that said, again, all the medical journals are for shit now. They're all corrupted.
Which is so sad.
It is sad, right?
Yeah.
All these prestigious things, and you have Rochelle Walensky up there lying her ass off all fucking day, and Fauci lying his ass off. All the WHO says, oh, yeah, no one believes you anymore. You've lost all credibility.
That's
it's terrible.
Did you see the Harvard grads are suing Harvard now because they said my diploma's lost value?
Good.
That's how I feel, though. It's like, for these doctors. And I'll tell you the other thing, Adam. Did you see that in the California legislature, they threatened to take your license away as a physician if you were dealing with COVID misinformation, which who knows who defines what that is.
Well, they define it.
Exactly.
They don't let Joe Rogan define it.
So, I mean, it got really scary.
That's the way they love, but they're for freedom. And we got to worry
Just
about...
not freedom of thought or speech.
Our democracy's hanging by a thread because of January 6th. Okay. Trans milk news is from the National Health Service out of England.
Yeah.
Or maybe even ahead of us in the cuckoo department, although Canada's always leading the charge in the dumb shit idea department. But
yeah, they use the term chest feeding.
Chest feeding.
And yeah.
Mhm.
What does it say? Can you tell me?
An NHS trust said that breast milk produced by trans women who were assigned male at birth is as good for babies as that produced by a mother who has given birth.
Assigned male at birth?
Yeah. So
How do you produce milk?
The milk produced by trans women after taking a combination of drugs is comparable to that produced following the birth of a baby.
Yeah. No.
Yeah,
it's never going to work. There'll be another study. Don't you worry.
I need to look at that study. I'm like an actual, I've done a lot of research.
A drug is required to lactate, such as domperidone, and which is often prescribed to women struggling to breastfeed and helps to stimulate the production of prolactin.
Right.
Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and file this under every fucking thing they told us about COVID that was wrong 3 years ago. I'm going to put this under that.
I'm going to have to read that study.
You got to read it, but it's awesome. I mean, as a fellow chest feeder, you'd probably want to know. We're so nuts.
And what comes to mind for me is there's so many studies that need to be done. There's so much important work that needs to be done in medicine, and this is what we decide.
Yes.
What percentage of humans in the whole world are in this category or are affected by this, right? So you can tell this isn't a population study. This is a politically driven study that was funded to make a political statement. This isn't for the greater good. This isn't for greater health of the world.
Yes. But this is why it's coming to an end, because these whack jobs won't stop and they've lost the middle. And nobody believes them anymore.
See. I mean, it really is something that you can't assume. I think it's upon everyone. Whatever it is you're hill to die on, whatever it is that you're passionate about, maybe it's anti-Semitism, maybe it's, you're seem very passionate about the transgender work, all this stuff.
I'm very passionate about everyone who's lying about everything and holding everything up.
Yeah. So whatever it is, it's upon everyone to speak up.
I agree. That's what we do. All right. I'm giving you a plug. Podcast, the Closet Podcast. And also, if you'd like to know about skincare and medical grade skincare, just go to theskinspot.com.
That's it.
Yes. Doctor, you should come back because you speak sense.
Follow her on Instagram at Dr. Sheila Nazarian. That's where she's posting all these clips that she's talking about.
I'm all over the place. I'm in Vegas. I'm in Palm Beach. I'm in Palm Beach again. Just go to adamcarolla.com for all my live shows. And until next time, this is Adam for Donnell and Dr. Sheila and Chris saying mahalo.